time, and it's the time that the madness fight. Show the strength that just can't be defied. I'm gonna hit you right where it hurts. I'm gonna give you everything that you deserve. Feel me from the skin, tear me from the rain. Does it make you happy now? Tear me from the bone, tear me from myself. Are you feeling happy now?
How's it going, guys? Welcome to the Rookie Critic YouTube channel, where film roams free. I feel like talking about Star Wars. I have not talked about Star Wars in quite a while, and that's one of the things that I wanted to do for quite a while, but I just didn't want to because everybody was talking about Star Wars. But screw it, I'm going to talk about Star Wars. I apologize in advance for the background, the lighting, and a lot of jump cuts that might happen. I'm not going to be looking at the camera the whole time because I can't think very well if I'm just looking at one place, so I'm kind of going to be looking around. I'll cut away to images or show some video clips over this if I want to pull you away from me if I'm, just staring for a little bit. I'm just going to talk a little bit about Star Wars, and you guys listen on in. Where the heck do I begin with Star Wars? Let's just start when I was really young. So I grew up watching we had the original trilogy. I don't know which special edition this is, but it's one of the special editions. I was born in the mid-90s, so I don't know which one this is, but that's the kind that I grew up on watching. I never saw the original cuts of Star Wars like a lot of people have, so I never knew that Han shot first until people started telling me that he shot first, but it never really affected my enjoyment of the character personally. I still liked him for what he was, but so I started with the original trilogy, when I was a little kid, and I think I was about 6, 7, or 8 when Episode 1 came out. I don't remember seeing that one in movie theaters. I remember having the VHS of it. I liked it. I was one of those kids that grew up liking the prequels. I was able to go to the movie theater to see Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, which the Revenge of the Sith was probably my funnest Star Wars theater experience, because that was where a lot of people were dressed up as stormtroopers and Darth Vader even a week after the movie came out. I completely understand why a lot of people do not like the prequels or thought that they were bad or liked them at first and then didn't really like them. I'm among the boat that I grew up with all 6 of the movies, basically. I was in 5th grade when the 3rd one came out, and I loved that one. So that's when I had all 6 of them in my head, and I could see, with me, I could see how all of them connect. I could see how all of this stuff happens. However, I could also see how Anakin as a kid was kind of meh, and Jar Jar Binks was and I could sort of see that as a kid. But it didn't bug me too much, because I saw, like, Jar Jar Binks. Jar Jar Binks didn't bug me that much because I saw him as, his race of Gungans all seemed to be pretty smart. They all talked stupid too, but they all seemed like they're much smarter than Jar Jar, and that he's just the one dumb one of the group. So yeah, I don't like Jar Jar Binks, but I liked the Gungans, if that makes any sense. I thought that the Gungan battle in Episode 1 was really cool as a kid. I thought that a lot of the Jedi stuff they did was alright. I do say that now. I would say that now my opinion is a little different, because it is... the prequels are kind of hard to watch. They're not hard to watch in a horrible way, but it's like there's so much skippable stuff that's like, okay, we're just walking down a bland hallway and they're talking, and there's just... It's just so boring, and yeah, I never as a kid understood what the hell they're talking about in their council chambers with the Galactic Senate and whatever. I was just like, okay, so there's a problem on that planet, and for some reason they can't do anything. Okay, I don't care. I want to see Darth Maul fight people again, and see more of these Jedi start, busting out, but... So, Episode 1 was fine. I'll review the Star Wars movies at some point, but not really as a review, just more say some things I like and don't like a little bit and give a rating, because there's 1,000 million kajillion reviews on YouTube, and seeing mine won't really change people's perspectives, I would think. I'd just say what I felt, and maybe somebody agrees. Episode 2, though, The Attack of the Clones. Now, I know that that one is a lot of people's least favorite Star Wars film, but I liked it. I'm one of those few that liked Episode 2, but not for the reasons you guys think. There's really just a few battle scenes that I thought was freaking awesome, that I would watch over and over again, and that's starting from when Anakin, Padme, 3PO, and R2 arrive on Geonosis, and they're going through the factory. I like that sequence, even though nowadays that's kind of an annoying sequence to me. I mean, it's okay, but they just blast the music, and it's just, I don't feel any real suspense with it. I'm like, they're not going to melt her. She's an important main character, so that's what I felt with that. But then the following battle is like when the three of them are on trial. But then the following battle is when the three of them are on trial and have to fight those three different, alien monsters, which I loved that little thing too, and that they had, this, gladiator-style arena thing for the Jedi fighting some monsters. That's pretty cool. And then, the big battle with a bunch of the Jedi. My brother and I loved trying to reenact the the Jedi battles. Not reenact, but we'd pretend, that we're on Geonosis with our fake lightsabers in our garage or on the trampoline, and, be like, oh, we just arrived, and we gotta fight a bunch of battle droids. We gotta fight a bunch of battle droids, a bunch of bugs. We got a huge battle on our hands. That stuff was fun to play around with as a kid, though I can see as an adult that was a little lackluster, could have been better, but it was still visually okay. I think it could have been visually better too, mind you, but for the time, I thought it was alright. Episode 3, oddly, Episode 3 is the one that I struggled to like the most. I do think it is a great film on a film perspective, but they did some things in it that I thought was kind of stupid, like the droid voices. I liked how in the first and second one, the droids just kind of talk robotic because they are droids. But then by the time we get to Revenge of the Sith, they're all talking squeaky. Oh no! They're like all stupid little Astro droid. To me, that was the Jar Jar effect, I think, or something. Because it was just, I thought the voices of the droids were really ridiculous, and they're like, oh no, like, oh sir, ah. Like, as if they almost have a personality, but they didn't. They had the least personality in the first one. The prequels are not perfect. They are not great. The originals are really good. The prequels are okay. The sequels. The sequels. I wanted so much to... So before I talk about the sequels a little bit, I'll talk to you a little bit more about me growing up with Star Wars, and then I'll talk a little bit about the newer Star Wars films. So, I grew up watching Star Wars when I was growing up. So I grew up watching Star Wars, and I played with a lot of the toys. I still have a bunch of those toys in my attic right now. I played with them to death, but they're still alive, still working. I'll probably share them with you guys if you guys want to see a lot of the stuff that I had, like Star Wars toys and whatnot. Let me know and I'll share them. I don't really care about sharing them, but if you guys wanted to see them, I don't care. That's fine. I'll show them. No problem. It was funny because I didn't have that many lightsaber toys to fit into their hands, but my mom and dad did bring those little olive swords or something, those little things that they stick in drinks or something, those little swords, and they fit in the grip of a lot of the action figures. So I was able to, make artificial lightsabers with it, so the other characters can fight too. And then the video games. Now, for a while, about a quarter or half of my video games were Star Wars video games. Well, they had the Lego Star Wars, the second Lego Star Wars, they had Star Wars Episode 3 video game, The Force Unleashed, Force Unleashed 2, Star Wars Battlefront, Battlefront 2, the good ones, not the newer crappy ones. A couple other Star Wars video games, the Knights of the Old Republic, Knights of the Old Republic 2. I had quite a bit of the Star Wars games, and I loved a lot of those. And then Star Wars books. And then the Star Wars books, I had the Young Obi-Wan Kenobi. I had Star Wars Episode 3, and I actually read that book. I had the Star Wars Jedi Quest. I think I read all of the Jedi Quest ones. I might have missed one or two. I remember checking them out at the library at my middle school at the time when I was reading those ones. But I liked that little series. And then, what did I have? The New Jedi Order. I read maybe 2 or 3 books into the New Jedi Order series, but that series has like 20 books long, and I did not feel like reading all of those books. They have all very small text and a lot of pages. Did not want to read those. I have the Dark Nest trilogy, which I think I read the first book, but I don't remember one goddamn thing that happened in it, because I think it was a little bit above me at the time, or I was just skimming through it and didn't, like, I don't even remember what time period the Dark Nest took place. I think Leia was trained a little bit in the Force, had a lightsaber. There was just so many things that were out of place for me that I had no idea who anyone was or what they were doing or why, or if it continued off of another book series. I have the Young Jedi Knight series, which is about... That one takes place after the Return of the Jedi, and it's like the Jedi Shadow, the Jedi Sunshine, and it like has the, you know, Han and Leia and Luke's kids going on their little adventures, which, yeah, somebody pointed out, and those kids kind of suck. And they always get captured, they always do something stupid, they're pretty much useless. Okay, I kind of agree, but that doesn't matter. In those Young Jedi Knight books, I loved a lot of their concepts, though. They had like a TIE fighter that was stranded on Yavin 4, and he, you know, captures the kids somehow, and they know how to fix up ships, and he forces them to help fix up his TIE fighter, and then he charges at the temple and tries to attack the temple. I know that sounds a little... I know that might be a little spoilery, but, I mean, it's a really short... I think those books have 3 sections in them of three different stories. You're okay, and if you haven't read it yet, you probably won't. But it's a pretty good little concept. They have, like, you know, a fake... they have the Emperor's guards, his Imperial Red Guards, like, tried to make a fake persona of the Emperor to rally a bunch of people to try to reform the Empire and make an assault on the New Republic or the Jedi Temple, and I thought that stuff was pretty cool. My favorite book series was The Last of the Jedi series. That took place, that obviously takes place between episode 3 and 4. It seems to take place right after episode 3 and 4, maybe 2 years after the fall of the Jedi. It is freaking awesome. It's Obi-Wan, and he, you know, in a way it shows Obi-Wan planting a lot of the seeds to grow the rebellion. Like, he didn't directly, I made the rebellion. He just seemed to put a lot of chess pieces in their places during this little series, and I think it's pretty cool. It's a couple of adventures. That's the type of thing that I would want to see a movie. If they're going to have a live-action TV show, Star Wars movie on the new Disney streaming service next year, do The Last of the Jedi series. Have, you know, Obi-Wan, Ewan McGregor play. He wouldn't be that far off of the age he is now. And he's not even in most of that series. And you can have some great, cool stuff. You can have some old characters from the prequels come out. You can have some characters from the originals come out, because I think that he runs into quite a few that, you know, are kind of within both series. I don't know, that would be a cool live-action series, and I love that book series. I did not read the last book, though, because I don't want it to end. I want to leave that a mystery for me. I read 9 of the books. There's 10 total, and I just kind of want to leave that open for maybe in the future when I'm older. I'll look back and want to reread, or, you know, just read that last one and finish it off. But once it's finished, it's done. So no. So needless to say, yes, I grew up loving Star Wars. Oh, and I'm not even done. In the middle of 5th grade, going into middle school, I was in a writing phase where I was on my mom's laptop. It was one of those really, really older, pathetic laptops that are pathetic compared to now. And I would always try to be typing my little Star Wars ideas that I had, with me and my friends in a Star Wars movie, basically, was the premise, or what me and my friends are in the Star Wars book, and I'm trying to write it, and I'm like, oh, me and Matt and all these other people, all my friends are, we're younglings at the academy, and we're friends with Jason and Jaina, and we're going on our adventures, and there's people that are tempted to the dark side, and blah, 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 fighting rancors and stuff. Like, it was, it's like a kid's fan fiction in a way, and I still have some of those old little stories that I wrote. I don't think I ever finished a book idea on those, except for one that was like 80 pages long or something, but I do have some of the shorter ones that were like 20 pages long or 30 pages, and if you guys want to see some of those little ideas, I could read them. Or I wouldn't read the whole thing, because I would give myself a migraine reading my old work because of the grammar, spelling, punctuation. It doesn't make any sense. A lot of stuff like that. But I would pick out parts that I think are funny and read those to you guys, and we can all have a nice laugh. Maybe if you guys want me to live stream sometime, I could live stream that, and that would be hilarious, and you guys can give me your opinions on some of the crap that I just said, because I skimmed one of them, and oh my god, some of the way I spelled some of the words, the way that I worded things, the story I was trying to write was ridiculous. Maybe I'll do like a little teaser for you guys so you know that you're not going to get gypped on the comedy aspect of how ridiculous it was. Anyway, Star Wars sparked a lot of my imagination and creativity. But then there was a little phase going into high school where I did not really care about Star Wars. It's not like I didn't like it all of a sudden. I just didn't really read any of the books anymore. I think I played the Force Unleashed game and Battlefront 2 from time to time, but I didn't really care that much about Star Wars specifically for for like 6 years. And I was more into, I got into, believe it or not, I got into basketball. I played soccer growing up, and at some point my friend just pulled me out of a depressive zone I was in after healing from a leg injury. I kind of got lazy and didn't get off my butt, and he's like, dude, you gotta play basketball. And I was like, I don't care. And he took me to a Blazers game against the Rockets, and I was into basketball ever since. Anyway, back on this. I have to change my camera. It looks like the battery's about to die, so I'll be talking about the new movies in just a sec. Alright, the camera's back on. It's alright, I only have a little bit more to talk about anyway. I think I left off where I was about to talk about the sequels. Alright, it's been a long time coming. I'm not going to give a full review on them, a full critique of the sequels. I will just say that I don't really enjoy the new movies. I think they're pretty lackluster, just to put it vaguely. In 2012, that's when I knew for sure that they were making new Star Wars films. I had a feeling that for a while they were going to start making them, but by then is when when they were starting to come around in the news. But I was a little excited. I wasn't super freaking hyped, oh, Star Wars is back! But But since they said they were going to be releasing a movie once every year, that was a good thing, because my brother and I, who don't hang out all the time or really see each other that often, we did decide that every year we're going to try to see a Star Wars movie together. So that is one good thing that Star Wars has done in the modern day. But, so The Force Awakens. The Force Awakens, when I was watching it, I didn't hate it when I watched it. In fact, I don't even hate it now. I don't hate the movie. I don't think it's a good movie. While I was watching, I was like, oh, okay, this is alright. I kind of thought that the stormtroopers that they showed in the trailer were going to be like people that found stormtrooper armor and put them on and are trying to attack that way or something, but that's just kind of the Empire again, but they're called a stupider name. Kylo Ren being him was alright. I mean, he killed the old guy just to show that he's strong. I mean, which Vader technically did the same thing, but you really felt it with him. He didn't kill the guy just because. Anyway, okay. How can I not bash the films while talking about them? I really don't like a lot of them. I don't hate The Force Awakens. That's the only one that I just really don't like, but I don't hate, because I do get the point it was in. It's the first, it's the first attempt at a movie since the prequels, and those weren't received very well after a while, and JJ did not want to be in that same boat of hate. But he completely misunderstood what people want. He tried to remake the first film, and that's not what we wanted. We wanted to feel like we're in the Star Wars universe again, not feel like, oh, I have seen this before. It is new now, though, even though it's the same thing I've seen. I don't know. I'm doing it again. Mary Sue. Doing it again. Okay. I really almost just want to talk about the sequels in a different video because I could talk forever about what I like and don't like about them. There's few things that I like, few things that I appreciate, but a bunch of things that I don't like about the sequels. The Last Jedi, Rogue One, okay, I won't talk about The Force Awakens. I won't talk about The Force Awakens or Last Jedi in this video at all. I'll talk a little bit about Rogue One and Han Solo. Alright, Rogue One, at first, I thought the idea of Rogue One was really good. However, I did not think they were going to make it so convoluted and crazy. Okay, Again, I apologize for a bunch of jump cuts. There's a lot of times in this video where I was about to say something or started to, and then just I don't want to go down that road. I'm about to go down a really long road, so I try to stop myself. Alright, Rogue One, I saw it in theaters with my brother. This time, saw it in theaters with my brother. The guy next to me was snoring during the movie, which I don't blame him, because I was bored out of my mind as well. There was a lot of things happening, a lot of quick things, and a lot of cuts, throughout the movie, as I'm just watching, I'm just trying to be entertained. I'm not trying to critique the movie. I'm just trying to have fun watching a movie. The whole time, I'm thinking, are they really doing this? Did they really do that? So many things that they're doing don't seem to make sense. At the time while I'm watching, I don't know why it doesn't make sense, but I'm thinking about it. I'm like, oh, why'd they park the Empire ship over there, and why'd the wife try to shoot them when they clearly were hidden and gone away, and what is going on here? And then Jin, they fight the stormtroopers. When they're on that planet, they fight stormtroopers. She just beats the crap out of them with her bare hands, and then the blind guy beats the crap out of a bunch of them with a stick. Stormtroopers with a stick, and then this other guy comes in and just blasts like 8 of them with like one shot that just automatically hits a bunch of them. It felt so stupid. I know that stormtroopers are fodder, and I know that the originals did a few bad things with them too, with stormtroopers. I know, but just because, okay, this is one thing I will definitely, this is a statement from me basically, just because the original movies or other movies have done it does not mean that the newest movie needs to do that too. And just because it was done in the past does not make it okay to just keep on doing it again. Like, I know that they have this similar pattern, poetry of similarity throughout all the movies. I know that. That's fine. They do it differently enough between the originals and the prequels as far as I can tell. Nothing was a complete, blatant, oh my god, that's just completely what that was. Like, I know that stormtroopers got beaten by Ewoks, but I think there's supposed to be, like, a statement, something about that, which I don't think is an excuse. I really think that stormtroopers getting killed by sticks and stones is stupid. But they should have had these new ones not be like that, because that's just ridiculous now. Okay, the movie Rogue One was just... Okay, Rogue One was just very boring for me. I don't know why, it just was. I thought that what they were going to do, instead of it being, oh, this one girl's dad didn't want to work for the Empire, they have a bunch of Kyber crystals, he's going to work for them, help build the Death Star, and then he's going to make a flaw in it, which the flaw is there's an exhaust port opening that is very narrow, and that's where you can magically shoot your torpedo to. If it goes all the way down, will cause a chain reaction, but I mean, the odds of that happening regardless of him doing that is very minimal. I mean, I don't know, it just doesn't make any sense why they made this a whole movie. What I thought that Rogue One was going to be was we're going to start it by seeing the Imperials. We're going to be with the Empire for a lot of the movie, and we're going to get to know some of these characters. And, you know, as far as we know, these are just normal Imperial guys. But we learn, after we cut back and forth with some of our heroes, maybe, or not, just maybe a few other characters, that some of the rebels are spies for the Empire right now. They are trying to figure out the Death Star plans. They're trying to figure out the Empire's deeper plans for weaponry, invasions, whatever. They're trying to really understand the Empire here. This is what they're doing. And sometimes they got to get gritty and they got to kill their fellow rebel that they're fighting so they don't blow their cover. And then by the end of the movie, they try to, you know, give the plans similar, not exactly the same way that they did in the final battle of Rogue One, but, you know, they get the plans to them and then a bunch of them die. I thought that's what this was going to be, which I think that would have been simpler and more gritty and a better perspective. People seem to think that people that don't like the movies want it to be exactly the same as how we remember them. No, we want new stuff, but to feel like an authentic continuation. Okay, I'm gonna get on a rant. The Solo film. I'm not gonna talk about that. Never mind. Okay. The last 5 minutes I was probably completely rambling for a while. I don't even know if I'll keep a lot of what I said. Therefore, there might be a shit ton of jump cuts that you just had to sit through, and I completely apologize. I think that's enough talking about Star Wars for right now. I got some pizza in the oven that I'm about to eat. I'll see you guys next time. I'll be posting a video. I'll be posting a couple videos this week, or hopefully next week. I'll be talking more about Star Wars. Hopefully I showed clips over this, because if you're just looking at me this whole time, holy shit, I need to shave. Bye.
If you liked the video, please leave a like, or if you hate it, click dislike. Also, share the video with your friends and enemies, subscribe to follow this channel, and hit that bell down below to be notified when I upload.